All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to get into the guts of modern digital horror, specifically two really popular Hindi ghost stories that have been making the rounds online. We're going to break them down, look at their structure, see what makes them so scary, and figure out why these digital tales are just so effective at getting under your skin.
So let's kick things off with a line that just perfectly sets the mood. On the new moon night, they never left their homes. You know, this isn't just some friendly advice, right? This is a rule that's basically written in pure fear. And in any good horror story, a rule like that, it's pretty much an invitation for someone to break it. It's the first thread in what's about to become a whole web of terror.
Okay, so we've got two stories, but one shared sense of terror. Let's get into the setup and introduce the two cursed places that are at the heart of these tales.
So here they are, our two very different playgrounds for fear. On one side, you've got this curse that hangs over an entire village, Veerpur. It affects everyone. But on the other side, the horror is way more personal, you know? It's all locked up inside a single mysterious photograph in this old abandoned bungalow. We're really looking at two totally different scales of terror here.
And here's the thing about ghost stories, they always have rules. In Veerpur, the rule is a huge deal. It's simple. Do not go outside on the new moon night, period. But in Leelapur, the rules feel a little different, don't they? Don't stare too long, don't try to steal it. It almost feels like a dare, just tempting someone to see what happens if they push it.
All right, so now we get to the good part, inviting the danger. This is that moment, that tipping point, where good old human curiosity, or maybe arrogance, smashes right into a supernatural warning. This is where the fuse is lit.
Which, of course, brings up that classic horror question. Why do people break the rules? I mean, we've all yelled, "Don't go in that room" at the screen, right? It seems so obvious. So let's actually look at why our characters decide to walk straight into danger.
So first, you've got this guy Ravi. He's the classic skeptic. He hears these stories about skulls raining from the sky, and he's just like, yeah, right, that's crazy. His logical brain just can't wrap itself around it. And it's that very disbelief that makes him decide he's got to see it for himself, breaking the village's biggest rule.
And then you've got a totally different motivation with the film crew. They're not breaking the rules by accident. Oh no. They are there because of the stories. Their whole job is to go into that bungalow and try to get a ghost on camera. They are literally poking the bear, inviting danger in just to get the shot.
So, rules have been broken, invitations have been sent out, and now it's time for the other side to answer. This is the big confrontation, the moment when the horror stops hiding and shows us exactly what it is.
And in Veerpur, the payback is instant and absolutely terrifying. Turns out the legend was 100% real. The sky literally fills with falling skulls, we're talking Nirmund, that are actively hunting people. This isn't just a spooky ghost, it's a full-on supernatural attack. But over in Leelapur, the horror starts way more quietly, and honestly, it's almost creepier. It's not a big attack, not at first. Instead, reality itself starts to break. That still photograph starts to change. The crew is just watching as the sunny day in the picture turns into night. It's just wrong.
And then, the demand. The ghost in the photo, her name is Lakshmi, makes it very clear what she wants. I want freedom. Wow. That one line changes everything. This isn't just some random haunting anymore. This is a spirit with a purpose, and that makes it so much more dangerous.
So let's look at how these attacks really play out. In Veerpur, it's a physical swarm of skulls that literally consumes people, leaving nothing but bones. Horrifying. But in Leelapur, the attack is psychological. Lakshmi possesses one of the crew members, Roshni, and uses her to try and kill the others. So you've got this external, all-out assault versus a deeply personal, internal invasion.
So what do you do when you're up against something like that? How do you even begin to fight back? Well, this is where we see human creativity and, frankly, desperation kick in. Let's break down the very different ways our characters try to solve these impossible problems.
Okay, Veerpur's plan is actually kind of brilliant. This isn't about one hero saving the day. Nope, the entire village comes together. They weave all these nets into one gigantic trap to spread over the whole village. The plan is to literally catch the skulls, and then they bring in a tantric, a spiritual expert, to properly bury and contain them. It's an amazing show of community power.
And then you have Leelapur's solution, which is, well, it's the total opposite. It's just brutally simple.
destroy the photo. There's no big strategy meeting, no giant net. The crew figures out the photo is the ghost's connection to their world, and the only thing they can do is get rid of it. It's a simple, desperate, last-ditch effort.
But here's the thing. Even when you fight back, does that mean the story is over? When you're dealing with ghosts and curses, a win is almost never a clean one. So let's talk about the aftermath and the spooky questions that are left hanging in the air.
And this table really lays out the difference. For the haunted photo, the ending feels pretty final, right? Burn the photo, sever the connection, the ghost is gone. But for the Rain of Skulls, it's not so clear-cut. The skulls are just trapped and buried. They're not destroyed. So the tantric himself isn't even sure if it worked, leaving everyone just waiting for the next new moon, wondering if it's all going to happen again.
And that really leaves us with this final, chilling question. Does every horror story really have an end? In one case, the curse seems to be broken for good, but in the other, it's just contained. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? When you're dealing with this kind of thing, is the monster ever really gone? Or is it just waiting for the next chance to come back?